Hi everyone, welcome to Byte and Beyond with Uday. Have you ever wondered what if your Spring Boot application could respond like ChatGPT? Yes, in this video, we are going to build a chat API that can respond like a ChatGPT. So let's begin. So this is our Spring AI chat flow, and if you see this diagram on the left hand side, user is asking and question. It can be any question. For example, explain Spring Boot. This question goes to our Spring Boot application. Over here, we are using Spring AI that help us to connect with the OpenAI. OpenAI is an organization that owns the ChatGPT. So our Spring AI send the user question to the ChatGPT or the OpenAI, and OpenAI give the response to our Spring Boot application that is powered by Spring AI. And our Spring Boot application return the response to the user. So if I summarize, user asking question goes to our application. Our application send that question to the Chat GPT. Chat GPT give the response to our application, and our application give the response to the user. So this is the flow. So let's build this application using Spring AI. So this application is powered by Spring AI. So over here we are going to use the Spring AI. So what is the first step in order to build this application? So first step is to create an AI project. So how can you do that? It is pretty simple. You just need to go to Spring Initializer. All right. Type Spring Initializer. Click on this link Spring Initializer. Over here, yes, you can select your language. I'm selecting Java, and this is Maven project, and I will go with the 3.5.14. All right. Please select this 3.5.14. I will explain you why. Give your group name. Okay. In my case, I can give, for example, BBU, meaning Byte and Beyond with Uday, and anything. I mean, AI chat, for example. Give your artifact, all right? AI demo, for example, all right? And correct your package name, of course, AI chat, let's say. And keep the jar packaging as jar, choose the YAML configuration file, and I'm using Java 21. That's it. Now we need to add the AI dependency. So you need to type OpenAI. You can see OpenAI, or you can type like this OpenAI. Select this. We will need this dependency to build a chat API. All right. Because this dependency will help us to talk with the chat GPT. Then we will need Spring Web. So just type web, because we are sending the basically user is sending the question via REST API. So that's why we need Spring Web. And if you explore this, you can see there are two dependency. One is the web, that is for the REST API. Second one is for the OpenAI basically. That will help us to connect with the chat GPT. And if you see, the AI version, Spring AI version is 1.1.5. But let me close this. If you select 4.0.6 Spring Boot version, in that case, you will get a milestone version of the AI. All right. So if I scroll down, you can see Spring AI version is 2.0.0 M5. M5 meaning milestone version, and it is under development. It is not the stable version. So that is why I'm recommending you at this moment, at the 10th of May, you should go with the 3.5.14. Yes, in future you might get stable version with the 4.0.6, but at this moment please select 3.5.14, and once go to the explore and make sure your Spring AI version is the stable one. So if there is no M5, no snapshot, meaning it is stable. So in our case it is 1.1.5. All right. So once you have done this, you just need to, generate. This will, download this project. That's it. This is the zip file. You need to unzip it and open this project in your IDE. In my case, I'm using IntelliJ IDEA. All right. Once your project is open in the IDE, what you need to do, um, what do you need to do? You just need to open your project in the IDE. Then open your pom.xml file. Okay. So let me go to the pom.xml. I will explain you what this pom.xml contains. So there are typical Spring Boot application configuration. All right, you can see this is the Spring Boot version which we are using. And if you scroll down, you can see that here are two properties. Sorry, we are using Java 21, so it is 21, and over here we are using Spring AI. All right. So our Spring AI version is 1.1.5. And you can see over here two dependency, web, that help us to expose the REST API. Second one is the model OpenAI that basically help us to connect with the ChatGPT. And if you scroll down, here is the dependency management section, and you can see over here Spring AI bomb. Spring AI bomb meaning it is bill of material. Bomb stands for bill of material. This Spring AI bomb basically help us to manage the Spring AI dependency. That's it, nothing else. All right. So if you see the version, it is mapping over here. It is mapped over here, which is 1.1.5. So it doesn't matter uh, what kind of Spring AI dependency you are adding in this section. For all the dependency, the version will remain same, which is 1.1.5. All right. So that is the main purpose of having this Spring AI bomb in our pom.xml. That's it. So our pom is clear. Now let me close this and go to the whiteboard. Now you need to config few things. So open your application.yaml file. So let me go to the application.yaml file. So over here you can see few configuration, I would say. So main configuration start from here till here. So if you see, you need to create a section AI under the Spring umbrella. All right. Then over here, as you know that we are using OpenAI. So in the model, I have declared the OpenAI as our chat model. Then I need to do some configuration. I have declared that I am using OpenAI as a chat model. Then I need to do some configuration. First configuration comes is that the API key. So over here, we are not using the ChatGPT user interface. All right. We are connecting to ChatGPT programmatically from our Spring Boot application or from our Spring AI application. So for that, you need to have API key. So how can you get that API key? So you need to go to this URL. This is OpenAI API keys URL that will help us to generate a API key. So just enter it. You will land it over here. All right. I have already created one of the key. All right. So let me just explain you. how you can create a key. Once you landed on this page, click on this button, create new secret key, and the name itself says it is a secret key. So you don't need to share this key with anyone. Please don't share this key with anyone. Keep this private. Okay, so that is the reason I am not showing you my key. Okay, because this is private. You can give any name to this key. For example, AI demo. All right, and keep the project as default and just click on the create secret key. That's it. Nothing else. I have already created a key, so I'm not going to create another key. But you just need to create secret key, and you need to copy that key, because that is the only time that you are going to show your key. After that, you won't be able to see your key. So once it is generated, you need to copy that key, keep that key in a safe place, and use it in your Spring Boot application. All right. Once the key is generated, please scroll up and click on the home button. You can see on top right hand side, um, credit section. So this API is not free. You might get charged to use this API. So yes, you need to add some credit. I have already added $5 credit in my account, so that is why it is showing over here 5. So if you really want to use this API, you need to add few credits. You can see I have added $5. So here is the section uh, from where you can add the credit. You just need to click on this button, add to credit balance, and it will give you a pop-up. All right, and over here you need to uh, mention your amount. Let's say $5. It is the minimum amount that you can add, and you need to add your payment details. All right, and then click on the continue. So yeah, that's how you can add credit over here. In my case, I have added it because this API is not free. So you need to add some credits in order to use these APIs. All right. Okay. So our key is ready. Then go to our Spring Boot application and copy your key over here. So I have added this section, add your API key here. So you need to add your API key over here. For example, let's say my key is 1 1 2 3 4 5 6. All right, or maybe just like this. This is the dummy key. I mean, this is a false key. I have added this key to my environment variable. Okay. So this section basically how this this section works. So if I have set it the key in the environment variable, the Spring Boot application will read my API key from the environment variable instead of from here. If there is no key in the environment variable, then only this key is going to be used. All right. So this is for the explanation. So once you have your key ready, either you can set your key in the environment variable, or the simple way is that just copy your key in this section. That's it. All right. Which section? This one. Add your API key here. You just need to replace this text with your key, just like this. All right. Perfect. Once that is done, you need to add few options. All right. So over here you can give some configuration. Which model you want to use. In my case, I'm using GPT-40 Mini. All right, because as you know, this API, this API going to cost you something. Cost you some money. So that is why I'm using basic model. All right, and then this is the temperature. Temperature is you can give the temperature from 0 to 2, and this basically controls the creativity of the AI. All right. So if I this 0.7 is the balance input, meaning um, AI won't be, you know, dramatically creative. AI will be creative as well as the focus on your question. So it is balanced. So if you see, if you set 0. 0.0, it will give your question answer only, instead of giving some additional information, instead of adding some creativity from the AI end. And if you add the 0.7, so it will give you definitely your um, give you the answer in a focused way, as well as it can be creative, but in a control manner. But in case you are sending above 1 plus, AI can be I mean dramatically creative, and your answer can be very, so that is why if you specific answer, keep between 0.0 to 0.7. If you would like to have some creativity from the AI side, you can go beyond 0.7 or 1 point plus, I mean 1.1, 1.2, you can add it like this. All right. And this is the last one is the max tokens. All right. So max tokens meaning um how long the response should be, how long the AI response should be. So in my case, I have added 500 tokens, so it can be medium long, not too long, I would say. My response can be around 4 to 5 line. That's it. If you give 1,000, 2,000, your AI response can be pretty long. And of course, if AI response is long, that is also going to cost you some money. So that is why for the demo purpose, I have keep it short. All right. So yes, our AI configuration is done. Why we are now, you understood why, what is the purpose of this configuration, what exactly this configuration means, but why we have added it over here. So main objective to edit it over here, as you know that we are using Spring AI, and Spring AI read all of this configuration from your application.yaml file. So you don't need to pass this configuration to the Spring AI when you communicate with the ChatGPT. Spring AI will read all this configuration from here, and it will use this configuration when it communicates with the ChatGPT. So Spring AI is going to send all of this configuration to the ChatGPT. You don't need to explicitly send this configuration to the ChatGPT. All right, Spring AI will does it for you automatically or out of the box. So that is the main purpose of having this configuration inside the application.yaml file. All right. Um, yes. I think we are done with the configuration. Now let's come to the service layer, where we start some coding. So let me close this and open my service. So I have created one interface, AI chat service, and it has one abstract method which is chat. All right, it accepts only one param message, and it returns the message as a string. So let me open the implementation for this AI chat service. So here is the implementation. You can see I have implemented this AI chat service, and I'm overriding this method. All right. So if you see, this is I'm using chat model. All right. I'm using chat model, and it comes from Org Spring Framework AI chat model. All right. So this chat model is part of Spring AI. So that's what I have declared over here. And using this constructor, I am performing dependency injection. So you can see this chat model. So I'm performing dependency injection using the constructor. All right. So when Spring Boot inject this dependency chat model, it is going to, you know, inject the dependency with all of those configuration which we have declared inside the application.yaml file. So it will read all of this configuration, all of this, all right, and it will create an chat model object and it will inject it over here. So if you see, I'm using chat model variable and I'm using its call method and I'm passing the user message. That's it, nothing else. No configuration, no lengthy process in order to communicate with the AI. In our case, we are communicating with the ChatGPT. So you can see there is no configuration because we have defined everything in our application.yaml file, and Spring AI read all this configuration from the application.yaml file and it creates a object of chat model, and it injects that chat model via constructor dependency. I mean, via dependency injection, and I'm using constructor over here to inject the dependency. All right, and I'm using it over here, chat model. All right, use the call method and pass the whatever message you are receiving over here. That's it, nothing else, and return your response. Nothing fancy over here. Pretty straightforward, right? Now you are done with the service layer. Now create a controller layer. All right. So let me go to my controller. Let's say my controller name is AI chat controller, and this is typical controller. Nothing, rocket science over here. So over here, this is my REST controller. My API prefix is API AI, right? And I'm injecting the chat service. This service, all right, chat service IMPL. All right, I'm injecting this chat service via constructor, and you can see this is our endpoint chat, and I am accepting the response in the JSON. You can see media type application JSON value, and user can send JSON request like this. You can see this is our request. So user can send a message like this to our API, and we are, you can see over here we are using chat service and we are calling our service from here. You can see, all right. So from the controller we are calling our chat service, and we are returning the response as a map. So map basically automatically converts into the JSON format. So answer is my key, and whatever response I am getting from the chat service, this is our chat service, right? This one. So whatever response I am getting from our AI chat service, all right, that response I am returning. That response will become my value, and this key value will be returned as a JSON response. So that's how it works. So yes, so we are done with the controller as well. Now it's time to run our application, and it's moment of truth. Let's see, run our application and test the API. So these two steps I'm going to cover together. So let me start my application. I'm starting my application. I hope you are excited. Okay, you can see our application is up and running. Perfect. Go to the Postman and ask question. For example, explain about Spring AI. So let me hit the send button. AI is, preparing a response. You can see AI AI has given me, huge response over here. Of course, you can control the answer, how big it can be. For example, um, who makes the best car. And I'm saying give me one liner answer. All right. So it can be one liner answer. Let me hit the send button. So you can see the best car is subjective, but many consider Tesla for its innovative and electric performance. You can ask anything. Which is the fastest car in the world? And I'm saying give me one liner answer. All right. Hit the send button. You can see the fastest car in the world is the Rimac Navara with top speed of 258 miles per hour, meaning 412 kilometer per hour. Right. So it can, this API can answer anything. You can ask anything, anything. What is the best country in the world, for example? Of course, it is going to say subjective. It is the best country in the world. All right. Give one liner answer. All right. And let me hit the send button. Let's see what happens. You can see the best country in the world is the subjective and varies based on the personal values and experience. So AI can be diplomatic. Of course, it can give diplomatic answer. Um, so the main thing is you can ask any question, and yeah, of course, if I remove this, it is going to give me a huge response. All right, a big paragraph, I would say. You can see few countries I can see over: Switzerland, Norway, Sweden. These are the Scandinavian countries. Norway, Sweden, Switzerland is a part of Europe, Japan. All right. So these are the few countries it is giving as a suggestion. All right. So yes, that's how you can build the AI powered API using Spring AI. And if I summarize, so if I recap the request flow, or if I recap our application, so let me show you. Here is the API. Once user hit the send button, all right, and over here user message, all right. Once the user hit the send button, that request goes to our controller. This is our controller. Then controller calls our service. So this is our service. Over here, our service using the chat model. This is part of Spring AI, and it has all the configuration which we have declared inside the application.yaml. So over here we have mentioned that connect with the OpenAI, use this model, temperature is this, token is this, and here is the API key. All right. So this chat model has all the information, and we are using this chat model inside our method, and we are using the chat model call method. All right, and I'm passing the message, and whatever the response I'm getting from the OpenAI, I'm returning it to the controller. All right, controller, and then this controller return the response to the user. All right. So if we see our slide, it can explain pretty well. So user is asking question. That question goes to the Spring Boot application. All right. Over here we are using REST API, Spring AI, chat client. Chat client is our chat model that we have configured over here. All right, in our service. This is our chat client. Client meaning w- any object that is communicating with the server or any external service. So this becomes our client, right? So yes, user is sending question, it goes to our application goes to OpenAI, and then OpenAI give the response, it comes to our application, and then our application send that response to the user. So yes, that is it for this video. I hope you have learned something interesting today. If you find my video useful, then please like, share, subscribe, comment. See you in the next video. Till then, bye.